Me and one of my old friends wanted to break our legs really bad for some reason. We would jump off of the rock wall at recess and we would fling ourselves off of tire swings, and none of it worked, but we got bruised. So we never ended up breaking our leg. But throughout our friendship, we wanted to break a bone, we wanted braces, and we wanted glasses. And she didn't get any of those things, but I got all of them.
We have these 4 videos pulled up. An hour of silence, broken up by Vector from Inspectable Me, saying, "Oh yeah," really loudly. Another video, another hour of silence with a random dodgeball. A third hour of silence, broken up by Taco Bell, bong. And a fourth, Joe Biden, blammo.
I don't know if you've ever been to Pizza Hut, but the one near me is maybe the worst place on earth. We walk in. First of all, our Pizza Hut doesn't take $100 bills, right? That's like the first weird thing about that Pizza Hut. Number 2, they just don't have the lights on. They're open. People are working there. They don't have the lights on. It's 6 p.m. The sun is setting, but no lights. So they're like, "Oh, let me get that." It's like, why were they off?
But this little girl walks up to me saying that she can't find a mom, if I remember correctly, and being the person I am, I'm like, okay, let's go find your mom then. And so we're looking all around. We finally find the mom, but she was hostile to me for some reason. I helped your kid, lady, okay.
While I was petting the cats, I noticed this sign that said number of days since Cash peed on someone. And it was 0, so I didn't think much of it. So I'm sitting on the ground, and these cats are just crawling all over me and stuff. And an employee is walking by, notices me, and then with kind of a stern look, it suddenly says, "Cash."
But this guy is 80 years old. I don't even think he knows what a meme is. So after about 20 minutes of me trying to explain the intricacies of this, he just kind of sighs and he looks at me and says, "If you're gonna do something like this again, can you please just sign your name on it?"
My son is in the river, and so he proceeds to play the hero, and he dives out of the canoe, and once he is in the river, he turns back around to let Grandpa know that he'll be right back. And when he does, what he sees is 2 white sneakers kissing the sky as Grandpa gracefully falls over backwards into the canoe.
Before each practice, we would sit outside our middle school gym. And I remember this one day, we were all sitting out there stretching, and all of a sudden, there were just so many ladybugs, everywhere. And I was so terrified, and I'm still terrified of ladybugs to this day.
And on top of that, the heater back there was broken. They also didn't let me wear a jacket. I ended up going home and laying in my bed for about 4 hours because I ended up getting hypothermia at the end of the day.
Around 1 a.m. in the morning, and we were pretty, we were getting loopy off the tiredness. Nothing made sense to us, and we suddenly got on the topic of explosives. I don't know how we got there, but I think I said grenade dust instead of something else. And my friend was like, "No, grenade dust is what they put in Cheetos."
My other brother Michael and I thought it would be a great idea to tie a rope to one of the front supports of the cart and sprint to the end of the driveway, which is about the size of a football field. And it went about as well as you can expect it to. We started, and then we hit the first pothole.
Me and my brother, we wanted to have a pillow fight, as 2 siblings do. And he had this giant stuffed elephant, so I grabbed that and I was gonna whip him with it. Well, 7-year-old me did not know my own strength, and he ended up getting thrown into the wall. And it cracked his head open, and there was just blood everywhere, and then he had to go to the doctor.
His head popped out of my drawer, and it had sharp teeth, and it was bouncing around, and I climbed up to the top of my bunk bed, and I was just staring down at it, and it kept bouncing around in a circle. And it terrified me, and I was was just like, I just remember screaming for help, and I woke up and I told my parents, I was like, check that drawer, because I know he's in there.
And a whole like family of deer come out with like a little Bambi looking thing and everything, and they're just prancing around, and we were like, where are we right now? Like, actually, where are we? So we took a little wood chip from that, and she had puffy paint, and we just wrote dimensions on it, and we took it back with us.
I was working at Clementine's Pastries. It was around Christmas time. Some guy came in and bought the whole inventory. And I was like, okay. And he's like, Merry Christmas. And he tips us $100 each. I was like, are you kidding me? Okay, I'll take it. That's gas money right there.
Like, I get up to like the kitchen and I'm like looking in the oven for some weird reason. And there's a tiger in the oven and it's like panting. Like up against the glass, like panting, and like I try to like grab like the oven door and like shake it out, like pull the tiger out, and it wouldn't come out. Like the door wouldn't open.
She would always be like, "Oh, you have short hair. Your mom never lets you grow it out." And I got really mad one time, and she was like sleeping, and I cut off like a chunk of her hair. I felt really bad afterwards, but at the time I felt like she deserved it because she was always bullying me.
I was in a room full of seniors who were about to graduate. It just was a race to see who could win Minesweeper the fastest. Then randomly during class, someone would freak out, like they'd start slamming their desk, they'd slam their computer, just walk out of the room, and she'd be like, "Oh, what happened?" And then someone would just be like, "Oh, it's just Minesweeper," and then she'd be, "Oh, okay," and then just continue with the lesson, like nothing happened, as people were rage quitting at Minesweeper.
I had an AP calculus teacher he had this air horn that he would keep like under his desk, and he would like use the air horn just to surprise us, or he would blast the music before a test to hype us up for calculus, I suppose.
The girl in front of me, her name was Lena. She's like, "Guys, I can't keep up. And I was like, keep it up, girl, keep up." And she freaking falls and face plants, and I leap over her. And then I run a little bit, but then I stop in my tracks and I look back and I'm like, oh my gosh, should I help her? But then I don't.
And so he comes chasing us, screaming and yowling into the room. And we decide to patronize him and start like shaking the can, hanging it up against him. So we have this cat like on the back of his tippy toes, reaching up like, give me this can. And he's just screaming and yowling the entire time.
Friends of the band were buying me drinks after finding out that I was the keyboardist's son. So my dad could only watch in terror as I progressively get more and more drunk. And to top it all off, it was also witch crawl, which is pub crawl, but Halloween themed, so all the women were dressed like witches. You could imagine my dad's reaction when a bunch of drunk cougars come in, bully me on the dance floor after they find out I turned 21.
You're not going to have trouble speaking clearly.
No, that's always been my problem throughout school. Like, ever since I was 2, I went through and I had to go through speech therapy because I could never say my THs correctly. Like, I can't say brother. I say, like, with an F or a V. I'll say fair or ver instead of over there, like, in that direction.